Welcome to the Pressure Point Dojo here on Channel Fight. I'm Chris Thomas, your host, and I'm the chief instructor of the kyusho-jitsu Kenkyukai. Kyusho-jitsu. That is the most common word used nowadays to talk about pressure point fighting. But pressure point fighting is also known as dim-mak, as atemi-jitsu, as junshifa. Sometimes it's called nerve attacking, and sometimes it's called vital point attacking. Kyusho-jitsu is attacking and utilizing vulnerable spots on the body that the body doesn't seem to know are there. If somebody tries to poke you in the eyes, you'll blink, you'll jerk your head back, it's instantaneous. Someone tries to kick you in the groin, you move out of the way because your body's keenly aware of these vital targets. But there are pressure points all over your body that your body doesn't really know are there, and yet you can use those points to activate the reflex nervous system of the body and produce predictable results in the opponent's structure and utilize those to your advantage. That's what kyusho-jitsu is. Now, when we begin this study of kyusho-jitsu, it can seem overwhelming. There are so many points to talk about, there are so many aspects to talk about, there are principles and concepts, and it can be kind of mind-boggling. And sometimes people will look at that and they'll go, oh, that's just too complicated for real fighting. And other people will look at that and recognize that it's a huge body of knowledge that they have no awareness of, and they'll say something like, well, I hit so hard that every place on your body is a pressure point. My job is to help you get there without it seeming so difficult. And so that's what we're going to do here on the Pressure Point Dojo. I'm going to show you how to understand kyusho-jitsu in a way that's comprehensible and that allows you to comfortably use it under stress, to comfortably use it when you're being attacked. We're going to begin today just by learning a few points. That's how we're going to start. And then later in the program, I'm going to introduce to you the first principle to understand. So come with me, let's go into the master class together. You find it on yourself. That's how I did it. So you just kind of feel around like you're going to feel a pulse. So reach your finger in, feel the pulse. You can feel under the skin that there's this bone here. This is called the radial bone. And so the pulse is in here. It's kind of inside the bone. Okay, so what I do is I'm going to feel in there, inside that bone. And as I do that, I can feel where my pulse is, but I can also feel that if I kind of slide my finger up here, there's almost a spoon-placed shape where my finger will fit. That little spoon-shaped spot is right there. It's this little spoon-shaped spot at the end of the bone. So I can reach in and my finger will slide there. And that's where a point, very important point called lung 8 is. And so as you practice, you like stick your finger there and just kind of push up until you can, hey, that kind of hurts. So you can practice that way, or you can do it this way, where you use your fingertips. You put your finger in there like you're trying to feel for the pulse, and then go up towards lung 8 until you feel that little bit of pain. And if you make a fist and do it, it's even easier. You can go up and go, ow, you can actually cause pain to yourself. Now, if it doesn't hurt very much, dig around a little bit. See if you can find where the spot is. Oh, there it is. Right? You find it on yourself. So this point is called lung 8. What we say is feel for the pulse like a nurse would, and then go up towards the wrist until your finger stops in the pocket. Another very important point that we talk about a lot and utilize a lot is called lung 5. Lung 5 is located right here. This is called the cubital crease. This is the crease of your elbow. And then there's this muscle here. This muscle is the radiobrachialis. And if I look right at the edge of the cubital crease, that's where the point is. In fact, if I was sticking an acupuncture needle, I'd put it right there. Now, the area of activation is like this, but I start by taking my thumb and I'm going to press in, and you might have to move around a little bit because you might start in the middle and go, it doesn't really hurt. You kind of move until you find a place where when you push, it's especially tender. Oh, that's where it hurts. Then you press in and then hook your finger. So you see this? I'm pushing in and then I kind of hook my finger. This is actually a hit point, so hooking the finger simulates the effect of hitting. But I can practice hitting it, so I can hit it on myself. That kind of hurts. But if I hit it with a kind of scooping motion away, like this, you can actually see my body. What's happening is my legs buckle when I do that. And that tells me that I got the point. So I'm hitting myself to learn the point. Now, obviously, I'm doing a movement like this, but if it's an opponent's arm, that movement is going to go like this. But once I understand that, it's very easy for me to reproduce it with somebody else. Let's look at another one. This one is called large intestine 10. It's located, so if you look at the outside of the arm, this is the extensor carpi radialis longus right here. I think this is called the pronator teres. So it's right in this area. You know, I almost don't care. I'm looking for that bump. I'm looking for where the muscle kind of rises. And if I press in kind of sideways, I can dig around and I go, oh, that hurts. That hurts. Okay, that's it. That's it. The spot that hurts is it. Now, this is a hit point. So if I like make a full twist punch, like in most karate classes, you can see how that muscle bulges up. So I can take this little knuckle right here, and I sort of poke around until I find the spot. Okay, there it is. There it is. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit it. Ow. Man, that really hurts. That's it. I just found the point. Now, you notice I'm slapping and rubbing. This is a way to take the sting out and the hurt out from the point after you've hit it. And you can do this to somebody else as well. So 3 points on the arm that I just showed you. Lung 8, lung 5, large intestine 10. We use these all the time. Let me show you a couple of points on the head as well. Stomach 5. The Chinese name is Daiying. Now, right here, there's this little, you can see this on the skeleton on Harvey. There's this little like notch or little indentation. You can find it on yourself. You start with your finger on the corner of your jaw and just slide, and you'll feel this little indentation, this little notch. That's where it is. It's right there. A different way to find it, if you clench your teeth together like this, and then there's this muscle. It's called the masseter muscle. You find the front edge of the masseter muscle, and just kind of track down, and there it is. Okay. Now, this point is a hit point, and we hit it kind of at a 45-degree angle up. And so to help you get that, what I want you to do is you can do this to yourself, right? You take your hand, and you make your jaw tight, and you're going to kind of hit yourself right here on the tip of the jaw. Right? It's annoying, and it kind of hurts. Then take your hand and come over here. Find that spot, right? And now hit yourself on this 45 angle. So it's 45 this way, but it's also 45 this way. So it starts here, but it comes out up here somewhere. So it's 45 through the head, okay? So you feel what this is like. Okay. Then you tap yourself here. Whoa, what a difference that makes. I mean, ow. Now, to recover from that, don't slap yourself again, at least not there. Instead, take your hand. So I use my left hand on my left side. So I'm gonna reach over to my right side, right back here. You can see the wire of my microphone is there. But if you have a headache, and you kind of do this, you run your finger down that spot where you have a headache. That's called the spinal accessory nerve. Just take 2 or 3 fingers and just give yourself a little slap right in there, and that'll help take away that brain rattle that just happened. Now here's another point that we use all the time, triple warmer 17. Triple warmer 17 is it's actually located right here, kind of under the ear in the hollow part, but the way you think about it is think about it in relationship to the jaw. You see what's happening is that the nerve comes out and kind of spreads across the face. And so right here is a place where we can slam a nerve into a piece of bone, and that's what we do. So here's how to find it. So I just there's my finger right there. And I have to go this way. I'm going to aim towards my opposite eye. And I just kind of push. And you start up high. It's uncomfortable, but it's not as bad. Come down a little bit. That's too low. And then you find a spot. It's kind of right in the middle. About level with the most people. It's about level with the bottom of their earlobe. So you can just use that as a landmarker. And you push in, and you push at this angle, and it kind of hurts. So now I can pretend like I'm going to knock on a door, right? So I'm going to hit that point with a little knocking motion like I'm knocking on a door, but I'm doing it towards my opposite eye. So I tap this way. Whoa, right? Wowie. Okay? And right now you know where the point is. If you've done it with me, you now know where that point is. One last point to show you that we use all the time, and this one's called Gallbladder 20. You actually already know where this point is, because if you have a headache, you might reach your fingers down here and sort of press up into the occipital region of your brain. You're like, I got a headache. So now let's feel that spot a little bit. So here's this. If I feel carefully, I notice that there's like a raised area here. This is a muscle. This is called the sternocleidomastoid right here. And it connects here to the occipital lobe right there. And then there's almost like a little kind of channel. And then there's another muscle right here. So this is the big spinal muscle on either side of the spine. So in between there's this sort of space. That's where the spinal accessory nerve is located. So if I just track up there, I end up, well, there's like a little indentation or pocket right here at the base of the skull. So you can see this very clearly on Harvey here. So here's the occipital bone right here, and a muscle attaches here, and then this raised area right here, that's where the muscles attach that, operate your head up and down that way. And then there's this, there it is. See, you can see it. There's this like little hollow indentation place. That's it. That's Gallbladder 20. Now, what I want to do is hit it. I hit it at a 45 angle up and through. So if I'm aiming for Gallbladder 20 here at the back of my head, the direction of force is going to come out somewhere just above my opposite eye. So it's up here, up above my forehead. So I figure I usually aim for right around the hairline, directly above my opposite eye. First you press, and you kind of feel there's a kind of angle that will work. And then, hey, I'm just going to take my hand, I'm going to use the edge of my hand and kind of chop, see what it feels like for me to chop upwards towards here. Oh, there it is. Whoa. You see how easy that is? It's lung 8, lung 5, large intestine 10, stomach 5, triple warmer 17, gallbladder 20. These points are used all the time, and if you just master just those 6 points, you're already way down the road of learning the deep secrets of the martial arts. So congratulations on your getting there and already knowing 6 pressure points, which I got to tell you is about 5 more than most people know. For some reason, it's really common for martial artists to go to like a Chinese restaurant after a seminar. And so I'd been teaching a seminar, and we went to a Chinese restaurant afterwards. And when we walked in, the hostess there, she saw my patch, which was on my jacket. And she inquired, what do you guys do? And once I explained it to her, her eyes got big, and she said, oh my goodness, my great-grandfather knew this, and my grandfather also, but less and less each generation. And that's why I created Masterclass, to try to preserve this important aspect of the martial arts for serious martial artists around the world.
Masterclass with Chris Thomas is an extensive library of in-depth video instruction covering Isshinryu Karate, Ryukyu Kempo, Tai Chi, Okinawan weapons, and so much more. It's a great value at $399 per year, but as a viewer of the Pressure Point Dojo, you can subscribe for only $119 per year. That's an amazing 60% discount. Just use the promo code DOJO when you subscribe. That's DOJO in all capital letters. Now, let's head back to the dojo.
I do want to tell you that when you subscribe to Masterclass, there isn't that instantaneous gratification that happens, because the last step is that I manually activate every subscription that comes in. And so that can take a while, and my apologies for that. If I had a lot of money and staff, that wouldn't be the case, but it's just me. By the way, that also means that when you get an email that says, welcome to Masterclass, that email is actually sent to you by me personally. Kyusho-jitsu, or pressure point fighting, is more than just knowing where some points are, knowing how to use them. It's a deep and, when you first look at it, complex art. But what I want to do now is begin to take you through that art in a sort of simple way, 4 overarching principles that will help you move from confusion to comprehension. It doesn't mean you know everything, but it does mean you'll comprehend. And when you learn new information, you'll be able to see how it all fits together. In this episode, we're going to cover the first of these 4 broad topics. It's called area control. So join me now in the master class. Area control. And what that means is very simple. Every pressure point controls something nearby. It was said to me in my training by my teacher, each point controls a joint. So to understand area control, I have to understand that, for example, if his fist is strong, if I touch the point on the heart meridian, which is called heart 6, I can bend his wrist. So I might not be able to bend his wrist this way, but it's very easy for me to do this way because the point releases the wrist. Likewise, if he's grabbed onto me and I'm trying to get his arm off, if I hit the point called lung 6, it releases his grip very easily. So understanding this is what area control means. Now, to do area control means that I'm doing what we would call single point fighting. I'm just dealing with one point at a time. Here's what then you have to know. First, where is the point? You have to know its location. If you hit in the wrong place, it doesn't work. I mean, literally, if he's grabbing me and I hit in the wrong place, it doesn't work. So that's above the point. Now I'm going to hit down here below the point. That still doesn't work. When I hit on the point, it works really easily. So you have to actually know where the point is. Then you have to know what the mode of activation is. There are 3 modes of activation. There is press or touch, rub, or you might say grind, and hit. Here's this point. Lung 6, he grabs on. I know if I hit it, it'll release, but if I push on it, it doesn't work. I'm grinding it, it doesn't work. I hit it, boom, works really easily. So that point responds to a hit. It has to do with the neurology of the point. It responds to a hit, but not to the others. The point on the heart meridian, that's considered a touch point. So what that means is I have to touch it. I dig my finger. Now notice that my touch is really deep. I'm digging my finger in there. But it's a touch point. It releases when I touch it. It doesn't release from hitting and it doesn't release from rubbing. But in contrast, this point on the lung meridian, this is lung 8. Lung 8 is a rub point. And the way you rub it, the point's here, but I start up here and I rub towards it. Now this begins to tell you another piece to this, which is called angle and direction. So where is the point? How do I attack it? Do I attack it by rubbing, by touching, or by pressing on it? But what's the direction? If I rub the point this way, away, it doesn't work. But if I rub the point this way, towards me, works right away. So this is a rub point that causes his hand to become weak, and in particular weakens these 3 fingers. It has to do with the neurology again. These 3 fingers are innervated by the radial nerve. I'm affecting the radial nerve, but I have to rub in this direction. It releases it very easily. So what's the direction? How do you attack the point? Where is the point located? Then I recommend at this phase, at this level of training, this is how you begin pressure point training. You learn a point, you learn where it is, learn what it does. Does it bend the wrist? Does it release the elbow? You learn what it does. You learn how you're going to attack it. I also recommend you learn the name. So you don't have to do that. You can call it that point by the elbow and you're fine. But at the first level, when you're dealing with area control, I recommend you learn the point name, what we call the alphanumeric name. So the name of the meridian, lung or large intestine or stomach or pericardium, and then the point number. But what's important for you to understand is where is the point, what's the angle that you attack it at, angle and direction, what's the method you use to attack it, do you rub it, do you press on it, touch it, or do you hit it, and finally, what does it do when you do these things? I want to remind you that if you engage in training in pressure point methods, you should seek out a qualified teacher and always use the utmost of restraint in your practice. Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you on the next episode of the Pressure Point Dojo. Until then, I'm Chris Thomas. Thanks for watching. Now go train.